Before I start my review, I just want to say that as far as anybody that was affected, the victims of the London attacks and the attack in the markets, and anybody that was affected, whether it was people who died, people who knew them, or whatever, citizens of London, the UK, we are with you. We support you. And I am so sorry for all that you're going through. Now on to the show. This is Real Honesty with John Ritland. I'm John Ritland. This is an Extreme Rules review / rant this fucking pay-per-view. Let me just say first off, the main event was fine. And there were a couple other matches that were fine overall. But for a show called Extreme Rules, this was about as extreme as watching two kids fight in a playground. And not even like, a good type of kid fight. It was like watching just two people, just two people do this, like for most of the show. You had Charlie saying, "I'm ready to get extreme." Charlie looked beautiful in pink. That was great. Cruz versus Kalisto. Look, I didn't care about him when they teamed up to face Ziggler back on SmackDown a few months ago. I was actually there for one of the shows where they got beat up by Ziggler after Cruz had pinned Ziggler. Kalisto and Cruz, certainly not a bad match. It was well worked, but I don't care about Cruz and Titus. Kalisto winning was pointless. I mean, put him in 205 Live and have him compete against cruiserweights. He can do a lot better. He's not going to be Rey Mysterio. If you give him some time in the 205 Live division, he will have more of a chance to succeed. Because that's just the thing. You're just putting him in a feud with Cruz, which isn't going to benefit anybody. If Kalisto wins, great, you're burying Cruz. If Cruz wins, great, you're burying Kalisto. It's just not any good. So get rid of this feud. And the fact that Cruz has lost again, I mean, come on, this is silly. Absolutely silly. Cruz deserves better. Kalisto deserves better. Not a bad match, but whatever. And it was literally added the day of the show. Big shock, they only had 6 matches. Oh shoot, we need to add a pre-show match. And also, why didn't they have Goldust versus Truth on the pre-show? The pre-show was like 2,000 hours. Okay, it was only 1 hour, but it felt like a long time. Why wasn't that on the main show? Because some of these matches were too long. You had Ambrose versus Miz. Well-worked match. If Ambrose got DQ'd, he would lose the IC title. So there was some restraint, and people some restraint by Ambrose, and you might say this was kind of like the Randy Orton Christian match at Money in the Bank in 2011. Yes and no. I still think this was a well-worked match for what it was. The stipulation, though, took so much steam out of it. Because you're like, oh, Miz is going to try and get disqualified, and I was like, oh, Maurice slapped Miz. I kind of called that happening. But then nothing came into play. After Ambrose, got tossed into the ref by Miz, and the ref thought that, Ambrose had done that, was going to go DQ him, skull-crushing finale from behind, 1, 2, 3. I had no problem with Miz winning. Miz winning was fine, but the stipulation took so much starch out of the match. When it was a well-worked match. But it just wasn't all that good. It was a stupid stipulation. And then you have, just the rules were all over the place. Heck, they kept doing countouts during the submission match, which I'll get to in a bit. That was stupid. I was glad the Miz won, but it was a sloppy stipulation that took a lot of steam out of the match. Then we go to Swan and Sasha versus the Foxstar, Alicia Fox and Noam Dar. And I'm not going to try to do the Alicia Fox thing, because I can't hold it as long as that. As anybody else. And you might also notice, and I know we're about 4 minutes in, Chris Koshionos on Twitter is not here. He is enjoying a well-deserved vacation, so you get me for this pay-per-view for Raw and SmackDown this week and next week. He will be back for Money in the Bank, hopefully. So, hey, Chris, have fun. Have fun on your trip. I mean, even though you're not going to watch this until you get back. But anyway, Swan and Sasha versus the Foxstar. It was basic. It was a basic match. I hope Alicia didn't legit hurt her knee. I thought she might have at first. I don't know if she did. Hopefully she didn't. I was worried for a second. She seemed okay, but it seemed like they might have kind of rushed a couple spots. But Swan and Sasha got the win. I mean, it was a good hometown reaction for Swan, so that's great. It's great stuff. I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy for Swan. I just didn't care. This match just was unnecessary. It was nice to have Swan get a hometown pop, though. And then Elias mocking Baltimore. That was fine. I mean, from what I don't know how Baltimore is. From what I've heard, depending on the area you go into, it's a fine city. I don't know, though. Bayley versus Alexa. Kendo stick on a pole match. This was shit. And this was shit because right away the kendo stick is off the pole. Yay! The kendo stick already comes into play like early in the match. And then Bayley just gets beaten down and beaten down and beaten down. I mean, she just... she gets basically buried. I mean, now I would have been all for Bayley getting a few shots in and still getting beat, but it's like no, almost no offense. It was like this. I mean, did Bayley fail a wellness test? I doubt it, but is Bayley just being buried because this is a way to like build her up to going and snapping? What is this? What is the point of this? I mean, what in the world, guys? This was this was shit, and this was part of the reason why I felt that This Is Your Life segment was like, okay, you took all the steam out of the feud. The crowd didn't care. There were massive boos for Bayley, which is sad given how hard of a worker she is and how good of a worker she is. And I mean, just about a year ago, she got a thunderous pop at Battleground. I mean, I know it was about 11 months ago because Battleground was in late July. But still, she got a thunderous reaction. And now, not even a year later, she's getting booed heavily. Baltimore, in a pretty rich city, in a city with pretty rich history in wrestling. So it's pretty ridiculous. But that was stupid. It was just so stupid. I mean, Alexa winning didn't bother me. I knew Alexa was going to win, but it's just the way they booked the match. Bayley just got totally buried. I mean, what the hell? It was so stupid. It was just monumentally stupid. Absolutely horrendous. Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys in a steel cage match. This is going to be a quick review, by the way, because the show wasn't very good. There were lots of delete chants, as expected. Jeff escapes and then gets back in the ring, and then suddenly everything resets. So now, instead of Jeff escaping and just Matt needing to escape, since Jeff got back in the ring, now they need to both escape again. What? Why couldn't Matt have just escaped? I mean, I don't think they knew the rules at all. I don't think anybody knew the rules, honestly. I don't think so. I mean, it's like WWE hasn't known the rules for a lot of their stuff for a while. And WWE's put on at least some decent pay-per-views lately. I mean, I can't say some of their stuff was great. Backlash wasn't great, especially with Jinder fucking Mahal being the WWE champion. That's terrible. But Jeff fell with the grace of a handicapped penguin. It was decent for what it was, for a PG era steel cage match, and for WWE not wanting to have blood and not wanting to have too many shots. But watching the Hardys try to move kind of made it sad. Because the Hardys just are too broken down. And that's not a broken reference, that's not any of that, that's not me trying to say, oh, broken Hardys. They really are too broken down. I mean, Jeff's going to be 40 this year, Matt's going to be 43. I mean, I don't know when their birthdays are, but they could already be those ages. It wasn't a bad match. Sheamus and Cesaro getting the win, though, needed to happen. But you could argue that since Jeff escaped, since Matt got out of the cage first and was dragging Jeff, why didn't the Hardys win? That's the thing I didn't understand. But still, I could see Matt snapping on Jeff Hardy here and maybe going towards the broken character, depending on the legal, action that's being taken by Anthem Sports and Impact Wrestling, because they could monetize the broken gimmick so much with a whole bunch of the talent that they have. Oh wait, no, they couldn't. They're just doing it to be dicks. It's like when WWE did it with the Cody Rhodes last name, which was stupid. He's Cody Rhodes' son. Let him use the last name. Just absolutely horrendous. That bothers me more than the broken gimmick. Matt will be fine otherwise, and Jeff will be fine. This is going to be getting the split of the Hardys. And then you had Aries versus Neville. It was well worked. Good psychology, good working of body parts by both guys. And some good stuff, except submission match. You can only win by submission. Refs doing the counts on the count out. And it was stupid. Crowd hated it, apparently. And the crowd was throwing a beach ball around, by the way. Screw that. I mean, look, I know the show wasn't that good, but come on, Baltimore. Have some respect for these guys throwing their bodies out there. It was well worked. And Neville got the win, retained. Where does Aries go from here? He could go up to the heavyweight division, get out of the cruiserweight division. He could go back to commentary. I don't know. Maybe he's legit injured and this was a way to write him off and put him on commentary while he gets surgery. I don't know what the exact point is. Neville winning though. Maybe you have Cedric Alexander, somebody get back into the thing. Maybe Mustafa Ali. Have him win it. I mean, I don't think TJ Perkins turning on Neville and winning it tells a good story, but somebody like Mustafa Ali or Cedric Alexander winning would be a good story. Young up-and-comer. Decent match, crowd shading all over it didn't help. Still well worked. Went on a little too long, though. And speaking of a match that went on long, before that, Great Balls of Fire ad. Seriously, Vince, that's the best thing you could come up with. That's the best thing that anybody in WWE creative could come up with. That was stupid. I mean, using the Great Balls of Fire song, which, by the way, is over 50 years old. I mean, what the fuck? Stupid. Now, Bray, Rollins, Joe, Reigns. And yeah, Bray, Rollins, Joe, Balor, Reigns. I mean, I lost track after a couple names. Fatal 5-Way. Good pace. Good pace, electric pace. You had a lot of good spots in there. The teaming up by Bray and Joe. Reigns even having a couple decent spots in there. Balor going mental with a chair. And a whole lot of stuff. The crowd hated Reigns. Even with that spear through the barricade, the crowd hated Reigns. The German announced table got taken out. Reigns went into hiding for a good portion of the match. I mean, they got to stop having that. I know that various talents will go away for a little bit during matches like this so other people can get spots. But they let Joe stay off too long, and they let Reigns stay off way too long. It's kind of like the Royal Rumble syndrome in 2016 when they let him sit out for a while. That wasn't smart. Good chair usage. The pace was good. The show was flat. The match did go on a little too long. I mean, the pay-per-view didn't necessarily drag on. But I can't think of one match that was match of the year here. And no, sorry, the Fatal 5-Way, not match of the year. It would not even be in my top 10 right now. If this is including NXT and WWE matches, main roster matches, no. This is not going to be top 10. Was it a good match? Did all guys do well? Yes. Joe winning was very surprising to me. I actually thought Balor would win. But overall, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just going to say, I'm going to say C-. Because I'm sorry, I didn't care for the pay-per-view. I didn't think it was good. I didn't think it was very well done. I thought, even though the pace kept good and they actually made good use of the 6 matches and didn't, make it feel like it, was dragging, at the same time, some of these matches went on a little too long. Could have benefited from a couple shorter matches and maybe throwing Goldust versus Truth in there, because there was just something about this pay-per-view that didn't click. So I'm going to say C-. The Fatal 5-Way was fine. Steel Cage match had a couple decent spots. Submission match was decent. Other than that, I mean, yeah, the IC title match was good, but the stipulation killed it. The kendo stick on a pole match was really bad. And in this, the mixed tag match was just there, and then the pre-show. So anyway, that's what I'm going to say. So we have Joe versus Lesnar to look forward to. Great Balls of Fire. Hopefully that match can be booked properly, and Joe's not going to win. I mean, obviously Lesnar's going to win, but it should be a good match. And expect Reigns to challenge Miz for the IC title very soon. In fact, expect that to happen at Great Balls of Fire. I would not be surprised if Reigns wins it there or wins at SummerSlam at the latest. Because they're going to do a dual champion. They're going to have champion versus champion at Mania. Lesnar versus Reigns. Anyway, that's what I got to say. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link is in the description. Been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.